Kenny Road. Yeah. I don't know when they're gonna call me. They told me to call me between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock tomorrow. Let me know what time I'll be there. I told them, I said, remember, I live in the area. Until it's 6 o'clock, I have to get up 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to hit the road.
Where you gotta go?
University of Pennsylvania.
Canal.
Yeah, canal. No. Yeah.
They tell me to prepare to stay for 2 days.
That's good. Only by next week, maybe I'll go to the beach. You ready?
That's still.
Don't you know that nothing get me down? Nothing.
That's right. So he's sending someone to
He
Florida?
tickled me, man, told me, said, I want you to rest Monday and Tuesday.
Right.
Drink 8 glasses of water each day, so you won't get dehydrated. I said, man, I ain't drinking 8 glasses of water in a month.
Good evening, thank you for coming out. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2019. The time is 6:30 p.m. This is the Pleasantville City Council work meeting. This meeting has been advertised in the local newspapers in conformance with the Open Public Meeting Act, otherwise known as the Sunshine Law. Roll call, please.
Swan, Sistrum,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Harmon, Christmas, Davenport,
Present.
Ward,
Here.
5 and 10.
I'd like to have approval of the previous minutes for all those who've had a chance to look them over. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Are there any nays or abstentions? Ayes have it.
Okay, first on the agenda, we have a presentation of the Pleasantville School District budget by Elijah Tompkins, the business administrator.
Yes, I'd like to thank City Council for inviting me over, the Mayor and the School Business Administrator. Thank you. Nick Susan?
She's not a school business administrator.
She could be. I'd like to pass out our presentation. Our budget was approved on May 3rd. I have more. Apologize for some copies.
Thank you. Gary?
Two for the absent ones?
Yeah.
You too?
Thank you. I'll put them in the box.
Now, our budget is permitted to increase by, without going back to the taxpayers or making any adjustments to our total revenue by 2%, which is $180,000. So the local tax levy went up $180,000, and debt services went down $41,000. But in total, our budget went down $3.2 million, from 91 to 88.3 million. Now, one of the things that I'd like to talk about in brief, and I'm going to be very brief, is that we receive adjustment aid. Now, each year our adjustment aid has gone down.
Adjustment aid, I'm sorry.
Adjustment aid that is really a hold harmless agreement between the states and all the schools throughout New Jersey. Original adjustment aid was $14 million. It went down to $12.8. The year before it dropped to $832,200, and this year after the budget was approved, it dropped another 236. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but our budget is, as I said, was approved on May 3rd. The state could theoretically come back in like they've done 2 Julys and reduce our budget again. As I stated, the adjustment aid continues to decline to 0. It's at 12.8 million now. The city of Pleasantville can't sustain an increase of $11, $12 million for school. Can't. I talked about this with the state, I talked about this with the superintendent, with the county, and so forth. What we've done this year is attempt to reduce administrative costs, and we're still in dispute with the state, but it's going to happen. We believe at this time that the teacher-student ratio is where it should be with a former Abbott, 21 students to 23 at the upper grades. That's where we are. We have some classes where the numbers may be a little smaller, but they're averaging where they need to be. We've got two projects out there. I was up in Trenton over 2 weeks ago. One was North Main, the other one was Leeds. We got North Main approved. That's going to be around 2.8 million. That is not coming out of the district's budget. School Development Authority is agreed to fund one project. That's the HVAC for North Main Street School, and with potentially one alternate bid attached to that, it would be about $2.6 million. The school district budget couldn't sustain that. And as a former Abbott, or former Abbott now, most of our funding for construction projects are held with the SDA. And the question is, we go there, we present our case, and we try to seek funding that way without going back to the taxpayers through bonding or through lease purchases. We simply can't present a lease purchase to the city of Pleasantville saying a 5-year, $5 million lease purchase. Obviously, it's about 1.2 with the interest rates a year. That would significantly impact our budget. So I'm looking for alternate ways to fund this. I'm seeking the state. We've sent letters up. I've sent letters to the governor and to the commissioner. So that's what we're working on now. As I stated, we have one project approved, and that's for the North Main Street, our bunker, the only bunker school in the United States. And we're seeking HVAC projects to fund that because one of your council members talked to me about not having air in the building. We're seeking to rectify that. So that's some of the things we're working on. As far as the needs of our students, which is the primary, I believe this budget at 88.3 is a sound budget. Unfortunately, we're handcuffed at certain points with the union. The union agreement is for another 2 years. That's where most of our funding goes towards, in excess of 70% goes towards salaries, and the bulk of those salaries lie within our PA contract. So, as I stated, our budget was over 91 million in 18-19 this current year. July 1, our budget goes down to 88.3, $180,000 increase on the local tax levy, $49,000 decrease in the, $41,000 increase in the debt service through refinancing. So that's the broad budget. There are categories, supplies and materials, they've all been accounted for. Teacher salaries are all accounted for. The PERS payment of $1.3 million that we pay back to the state is accounted for. Our health costs are around $14 million for the year. We refinanced that, renegotiated that to get it down to about $12.8 million. Those are the big ticket items within the budget. If there are any questions
You said, how much of expenditures go to salaries?
In excess of 70%.
70? About what we're running.
Excuse me?
That's about what we're running.
Yeah, it's about 70%.
Yeah.
So-
The proposed risks and layoffs, is that a part of the budget, or is that something
That is part of the budget. Right now, it's, I build a budget that balances, with the risks and people and so forth. I deal with numbers, and maybe that's a cop-out to say that, but that's the truth. I deal with numbers. The superintendent has to determine where they are. We've been in the papers on that issue. He's still working on that.
The adjustment aid, Elijah, how does that exactly work in,
Originally, when they created the adjustment aid, they changed the state funding formulas. So if you go on the website, you'll see that there's a formula for every school district in New Jersey. They build a formula around that, and then the state says it's going to fund it or it's not. This year, for the first time, for my record, more than 10 years, where we had an increase of $589,000. But my argument is, you reduced it over 1.2 million within that 2-year time, you're really giving us back some of the money that you've taken from us to begin with. So that adjustment aid formula tries to match all school districts. And that's an unfair assessment because all school districts aren't the same. You have urban school districts, not the 32, which includes Atlantic City now. Funding formulas don't apply. I'm not going to, I hope there's no precedent, but Atlantic City got substantial dollars, where for 2 years we've had a reduction of 1.2. So some school districts were impacted. Jersey City got reduced 30 million. We couldn't survive on that, but we're not as big, obviously we're not as big as a $600+ million school district. I don't think Newark was impacted. Newark is a $990 million school district. Bridgeton was impacted. I think Willingboro was not. Vineland was impacted. So
everybody gets the same amount of adjustment aid?
no, adjustment aid is based on per pupil.
Okay.
So everybody doesn't get, we had originally 14 million, we're down to 12.8. The adjustment aid formula is supposed to go down to 0. We can't sustain a 0 adjustment aid number because where you would have to slash the entire budget. We can't sustain a $12.8 million hit. So the governor this year stated that they would continue funding all school districts, and as I said, it went up to $589,000.
You were saying there was an $11 million increase that's going to be tacked on, or has to be tacked on?
Well, the adjustment aid right now is $12.8 million. They can bring it down to 0. How long, we don't know. Each year, my association, the School Business Administrators of New Jersey, we meet in June, we talk about what the changes are. I don't know what the changes are because there's our governor wants one thing, Sweeney wants another, and they're in battle. So the outcome, is you have to look at your children. It's not what you hear, the administrative administration. I do the best I can to keep a balanced budget. I do what I can, but it's not up to me at times. You make an adjustment in July, the budget's built and approved. The budget was approved May 3rd. And last year we had to cut staff in July because they reduced the budget. So anything's possible. I'm hoping that that's not the case. But eventually, the adjustment aid may dry up. It depends on where the governor, the Senate stand. I'm just hoping that it's not impacting Pleasantville. You know, I think our net taxable value, if I'm not mistaken, sir, is substantially down. And when that drops, the impact of that is, you know, higher taxes. Because the school district has got to operate, the city hall has to operate. You know, you can only cut so many bodies. So,
Madam President, Mr. Tompkins, I just like to ask, how do you find the Class 3 police officers working out? And was that an economical move?
I believe it's an economical move because you have Class 3 officers that are police officers. Unfortunately, school districts are what they are. You know, you haven't had an incident in South Jersey as of yet, and I'm hoping that it never does. But without Class 3 officers, how do you say that you've done everything to secure the building, secure the staff, secure the children, if you don't have them around?
My other concern was, in your goals, and I commend you, the board, together, the successful implementation of the early college program. If we can get a youngster through high school in 3 years, we're saving 1 year of time, effort, and everything else.
You're saving substantially, sir. When you talk about the goal is to educate children. That's why school districts here. Now, if your goal is to educate children, you're presenting a program that is giving them a pathway to have a college degree. You know, it's an associate program, and when you graduate high school, you have an associate degree. And that associate degree, from what I understand, is the ACT. Rutgers University accepts those credits. So now you have 2 years remaining on the college rather than 4. Yeah. And you have really a funding source to achieve that.
Elijah, excuse me, some of this print is so small I can't see it.
I
The
apologize.
question may be answered in here, but you mentioned North Main Street School.
Mhm.
Now, the $2 million, what is that for? Is that?
Our geothermal system has failed. We're going to do a closure in place, and we're going to provide fresh air that blows in and heat. We had to put in a temporary unit out there. It costs about $260,000 for the year to have air and heat in that building. Right now, I think last week they removed the units, but we've got to find a way to put those units back in. New units, those units are over 30 years. And if you have an air conditioner in your house, you know, they don't last, even with the best maintenance possible, they're not going to last forever. So they failed. So right now I went to the state to get them to fund it, and that's part of the funding. In June, the SDA meets with their board, and they've already conveyed to me that they will be approving their project. Unfortunately, they didn't approve Leeds Avenue.
And the other question I had was, you know, I'm at the schools all the time, working with a lot of the students. Are any of the administrators going to be moved around? It seems as if, you know, when I talk to the students and they get confidence in someone, not long afterwards they're being moved. And right now we're in the process of the Teen Summit with the coalition, and I know there's a couple of teachers working with us with that. And I'm concerned about that because I know that, I heard that what I read in the paper, the moves were going to be made pretty soon.
The moves are going to be made. To what degree, I don't know yet, because in fact, I met with the superintendent this morning. He talked about some ideas he had he wanted to convey to the county superintendent. The original moves that were presented in the newspapers may not happen. There's been some negotiating, and I don't want to talk too loud because I got a PA member over there. But they are discussing that there will be moves. I don't know if that plan, the original plan, will be the actual end result. but they will be moved.
Alrighty. Anyone else? There's no other questions. Thank you, Elijah, for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, agenda items.
First on the agenda is Resolution 88, award the contract for the sewer improvements to California Avenue to Lafayette Utility Corporation in the amount of $159,924.50.
Comments, questions, or?
I'm sorry, Collins.
Not California. Oh, she said California. Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I just want to say finally, we're doing Collins Avenue. The residents on that block have been extremely patient. There's a lot more traffic now due to the road construction on Franklin Boulevard. My last 3 visits, I meet the mayor, was 3 individuals that live on Collins Avenue. Ms. Jackson was one of them. Again, thank you for your patience. It's been a long, long road, and we kept saying the same reason over and over again, because that was the only reason why it was getting paved. We didn't get paid from Department of Transportation. But I will be out there just to personally thank everyone when the project starts. And like I said, we spend so much money cold patching, we probably could have paved the road. So, but again, Harriet, would you express my appreciation for the residents? Thank you.
I did call a few residents, let them know that the meeting was today, and if they were available, then please attend.
Okay.
So I'll get the word around to the community.
Thank you.
Resolution 89, authorizing to submit a grant application to United States Department of Justice for the body-worn camera grant program.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? Next, please.
Resolution 90, authorizing the city to enter into an agreement with the County of Atlantic for the installation and maintenance of flashing signal equipment at various locations.
Questions or comments? Next, please.
Resolution 91, supporting local firefighters and volunteerism.
Okay, questions or
Let me
comments?
explain it. Once a month, the Atlantic County mayors meet and we discuss different things. This is just an endorsement to encourage participation for the firefighters. They're out there putting their lives at jeopardy and not getting paid for it. So we just want to encourage everyone to continue to support the firefighters. Okay, thank you.
Next, please.
Resolution 92, granting approval for the World Hunger 2019 event on May the 28th at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Woodland Avenue Park.
Any questions or comments?
A comment, this was approved at our recreation committee meeting.
Next is the bill list.
Good evening. I'd like to go over the bills that we have paid from the last council meeting, this council meeting. And all of them are obviously things that were required to us. On the very bottom of the page 1, there's 4 items, all wire transfers. The first one is the payroll, $551,000 from 2 weeks ago. And then $276,000 for state health benefits for our active employees. $963,000 is our second quarter county taxes. And the last one on that line, 142, 373.94, is our medical costs for our retirees. These numbers are significantly below what they were before we went back to state health benefits in March. Now the bills to be paid, since I wasn't here last week, I didn't give Sandra a whole list of them to take care of, but there are a number you might want to take a look at. We go to page 5, that pretty much talks into what we were just talking about a couple minutes ago regarding the school. $767,000, third one down. That's our monthly payment to the school district for collecting the taxes we collect on their behalf. We pay probably in excess of $9 million to the school, collected by the citizens.
Excuse me.
And then-
Monthly?
Pardon me?
Monthly, 700,000 monthly?
Yes, total, and we also pay some debt service once or twice a year, in excess of $9 million that are paid. And then next page over, page 6, flashing on the library's been having a number of water problems. We had a new roof put on a couple years ago. The problem seemed to be the flashing around air conditioning units, which are, I think there's 15 of them up there. So we've got a price of $13,500 from Thomas Roofing to hopefully take care of the problem. Even though it is our building, the county runs it, but it's our responsibility to take care of it. The county does pay us rent, like $70,000 a year for the building. Other than that, everything else is really just bills that we need to pay in order to substantiate and run the city. Do you have any questions?
Any questions on the bill list? Okay, thank you, Barry. Okay. This time we'll have public portion. Anyone from the public that wishes to speak on the agenda items only, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your concern.
Seeing none, Madam President, I make a motion that public hearing close.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, public portion is now closed, and we have comments from council and mayor. Motion to close the work session.
So moved.
All those in favor? Anyone need a break? Okay. Good evening. Thank you for coming out. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2019. The time is 6:54 p.m. This is the Pleasantville City Council meeting. This meeting has been duly advertised in the local newspapers in conformance with the Open Public Meeting Act, otherwise known as the Sunshine Law. Will you please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the flag salute? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Swan. Sistrum. Scott. Harmon. Christmas. Davenport. Ward.
Here.
5 in attendance.
Okay, I'd like to have a motion to dispense with the readings of the previous minutes.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Nays and abstentions have the same vote. Ayes have it. Mayor, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Ms. King, I'll wait.
First on agenda is Resolution 88, award the contract for the sewer improvements to Collins Avenue to Lafayette Utility Constructions in the amount of $159,924.50.
So moved.
Second.
Sistrum.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Resolution approved. Resolution 89, authorizing to submit a grant application to the United States Department of Justice for the body-worn camera grant program.
So moved.
Second.
Sistrum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Resolution approved. Resolution 90, authorizing the city to enter into agreement with the County of Atlantic for the installation and maintenance of flashing signal equipment at various locations.
Motion.
Second.
Sistrum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Resolution approved. Resolution 91, supporting local firefighters and volunteerism.
Motion.
Second.
Sistrum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Resolution approved. Resolution 92, granting approval for the World Hunger 2019 event on May the 28th, which will be held at the Woodland Avenue Park.
That's third motion.
Second.
Sistrum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Resolution approved. I need a motion to pay for bills.
So moved.
Second.
Sistrum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion approved. Next is public portion.
Okay. Anyone from the public that wishes to speak on any item, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your concern.
Yes, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
My name is Eric Duran. I live at 33 Indian Lane. I've been working with the city. The home that I purchased and renovated has an issue with it's a dirt road. The road has been elevated over time, by fixing potholes. My entire yard and driveway floods every time it rains. Instead of the water continuing from Shore Road to Clematis Avenue, it seems to make a right turn and puts about 5 inches of water in my driveway every time it rains. And somewhere back in February, we started, talking, and I'm just trying to find out if there's going to be any kind of resolution or any kind of temporary fix to stop this, because, it's very difficult to get in and out of my home, with this situation.
You familiar with it?
I am.
Okay.
And Mr. Duran has a valid complaint. I actually just showed the mayor some of your pictures that you forwarded to us. What we've done, when the initial complaints came in, we actually went out there, myself, Public Works, and our city engineers, and I asked them to produce a report that would identify what the issues are and give us some examples or recommendations of what it would take to take care of the issue. What we've learned from that report thus far is that to really alleviate the issues that he's having is going to be costly. So what we plan to do is actually meet with our sewer committee in addition to our finance committee to come up with, a resolution as to how the city can address the matter.
Okay.
And once we do this, I'll be in touch with you to let you know what that resolution is.
And I appreciate that, but, this can obviously be temporarily alleviated if they could remove 6 or 8 inches of dirt in front of my home to allow it to pass past my house, which they've had, come out there, they have fixed potholes, the city's been very helpful, with that. But, like I said, I have pictures and videos on my phone. As soon as the rain hits my driveway, it makes a right turn. It does not go the other 150 feet down towards Clematis Avenue. It would be, like I said, I run heavy equipment. It would be very easy if they could just even at least temporarily take 6 or 8 inches worth of dirt off so that the rain passes my driveway and continues on like it should. And I understand, there may be other costly issues, storm drains, but in the meantime, like I said, it's a very, I'm kind of suffering, to get in and out of my house. I like flip-flops. I have to wear boots every day, when it rains. And then the driveway fills with mud and sand, so I have to get out there and wash it, back out. So, if that's possibly an issue where they could, my frontage is only 100 feet wide, if they could just, possibly just bring it down so it passes past the driveway, just to get past the house, because it's tough.
Yeah,
Look
well,
out with Public Works.
Well, yeah, and we've talked about that as an option, but we have to really sit down and look at the engineer's recommendations, and we'll do that very soon. And I understand, you know, your issue, and we'll address it as quickly as possible. And I think that it's more important for the city to do something that is going to be a long-term fix, but we'll consider it, okay?
And I understand that, but what are, I mean, are we talking, you know, I mean, the long-term fix may be expensive, but, I mean, are we talking, you know, 3 months, are we talking a year, are we talking?
We'll have a meeting very soon.
Okay.
Once we have that meeting, based on the results from the meeting, I'll get in touch with you to let you know where we are.
Okay, all right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Good evening.
Where's Clematis at?
What's that?
Where's it near? Clematis Avenue?
Clematis Avenue runs along the base road. It's between Floral and Van Mar.
Okay, so it's back on Church Street, Ledger?
No.
It's between Floral and Van Mar.
Okay.
And yeah, Clematis, the nursing home is back there.
Yeah, it's a serious issue. Yes, California. We just need to further discuss it.
Thank you.
Again, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to speak? Seeing none.
Seeing none, make the necessary motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor to close public portion? Okay, public portion is now closed. We'll have comments from Mayor. Is there anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm going to suspend my Meet the Mayor on the first Monday of the month for July, August, and September, and resume, June, July, and August, and resume in September.
Okay.
And also, we have flyers and, you know, hear radio announcements about Bayview Summer Series, where we start out with the beer and wine tasting June 15th. So if you hear anything about it, please, you know, try to participate and buy some tickets. So, that's it.
Okay. Councilman Davenport. Okay. Councilman Scott.
Thank you for coming out. Have a blessed evening.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Cisco.
Good evening, thanks for coming out. God bless you. Have a good night.
Councilman Harmon.
Thank you, Madam President. Councilman Davenport,
Yes, sir.
would you introduce your lovely wife?
Sure you can.
No, you.
All right, I didn't know that was part of the...
Yes, sir, that's a part.
Well, my lovely wife is out there, Stephanie Davenport.
That's on camera.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge our past school board member, Ms. Jackson.
Yes. My son is out there.
Okay.
Hey, you didn't know him, man.
He's always out
Okay, and I'd just like to, we hear your concerns, Mr. Graham, and as the business administrator stated, she will be on. And that's it. Everyone have a good evening. Thank you for coming out. Nothing further, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay.
Kingston, I didn't know you were sitting out there.
One day after we have to do work.